Mabuhay! Today, we are going to tackle the topics that we've already covered. Let us recall all the discussions about the political law and labor law. To start with, let me first give you a brief explanation of how important political law is. Political law is the study of how government works and how they make decisions. It helps us to understand the principles and rules that guide the behavior of politicians and government officials. It is really important to study for us to know what are the rights of every Filipino, how are we going to use our rights, and when is the right time to use it. Also, it is important to know the national territories and boundaries so that we and other nations would know the boundaries of our respective countries.
For the next topic, I will be talking about the four elements of the state. First would be the population. It is the people who make the state. Population is essential for the state. They are the ones that abide by the law and the primary reason why the government makes such laws that are based on the rights of its people, which we identify as citizens. Second would be the territory. People need territory to live and organize themselves socially and politically. It may be remembered that the territory of the state includes the water, air, and space. Territory is necessary for citizenship, as in the case of population, no definite size with regard to extent of the area of the state can be fixed. Third is the government. It is the organization or machinery or agency or magistracy of the state which makes, implements, enforces, and adjudicates the laws of the state. Government is the third essential element of the state. The state exercises its sovereign power through its government. Lastly, the sovereignty. It is the most exclusive element of the state. State alone possess sovereignty, so without sovereignty, no state can exist. Some institutions can have the first three elements, the population, territory, and government, but not sovereignty.
Next, I will be discussing the three branches of government. There are three branches which are executive, legislative, and judicial. Executive is part of a government that is responsible for implementing and enforces laws. The branch is composed of the President, Vice President, and a cabinet, executive departments such as education, transportation, education, etc. Independent agencies, boards, commissions, and committees. Next is legislative. This branch has the authority to make, change, and revoke laws. Also, the branch can confirm or reject presidential appointments and has the authority to declare war. And last is judicial. This branch is headed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is led by the Chief Justice as the head and 14 associate justices who are appointed by the President based on the recommendation of the Judicial and Bar Council. I will also discuss the Intramuros Administration, which I learned that it was established in 1979 through Presidential Decree No. 1616. We tackled that it was responsible for the preservation, development, and promotion of Intramuros, a historical walled area located here in the heart of Manila.
Let's start with the Department of Tourism. This organization was established in 1973. It is responsible for the regulations and promotion of the Philippine tourism industry, which helps in maintaining the sustainability of every attractions in the country. Next is the Philippine Travel Agency Association or PTAA. It was established in 1979. It is an organization that concerned with outbound travel agency and inbound travel operators. It was founded to foster unity in the travel industry and to promote the welfare of its member and traveling public. Another one is the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR, which is responsible for the conservation, management, and development of the country's environment and natural resources. Up next is the Department of Agriculture, responsible for the promotions of agricultural development by providing the policy framework, public investment, and support services needed for domestic and export-oriented business enterprises.
Next is the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH. This is the highest administrative agency responsible for the construction and maintenance, management of highways, bridges, and other infrastructure in the Republic of the Philippines. We also have the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI. It is committed to protecting the rights and interests of the consumers and is also committed to developing policies and programs aimed at sustaining the growth and development of the Philippine economy. Lastly, the Bureau of Immigration, which ensures that all foreigners within its territorial jurisdiction comply with existing laws. That's all for the discussion of political law. Let's now jump into the next topic, which is the labor law.
For our next topic, let me discuss first what is labor law, also known as employment law or labor and employment law. Refers to a body of legal rules and regulations that govern the rights and obligations of workers and employers in the workplace. It is about the law for their employment contracts, wages, working hours, workplace safety, discrimination, and termination of employment. Next is the Labor Code of the Philippines, which sets the rules of hiring and firing of private employees. The conditions of work including maximum work hours and overtime, employee benefits such as holiday pay, 13th month pay, and retirement pay, and the guidelines in the organization and membership in labor unions.
For now, I will be discussing the types of employees, which are the regular and casual employment, project employment, seasonal employment, fixed-term employment, and probationary employment. So the first thing is the regular casual employee. It's a casual employee that works regular hours on systematic basis, and an irregular casual employee in a casual employee that works irregular hours or an occasional and non-systematic basis. The next one is project-based employee is when a company hires a talent and qualified individual for a specific short-term project and needs to be complete within the company. This project may have clear milestone and deliveries that can be met and employees, but by their nature they are not needed long-term. Seasonal employee is a type of temporary employment which the person works during certain times of the year. It is typically part-time, but there is also full-time and seasonal position. The next one is fixed term. Is a contract in which a company or an enterprise hires an employee for a specific period of time. In most cases, it is for a year but can be renewed after the term expires depending on the requirement. The last one is probationary employment. Is an arrangement where an employee is placed on trial by the employer for a period of time, not to exceed 6 months, or to allow the employer to determine whether the employee is fit for regularization.
I will be discussing the last topic in the labor law, which is the differences between just causes to authorized causes. First is just causes. It is the grounds for termination include wrongful or prohibited acts for which the employer must file a case and provide supporting evidence. Authorized causes. These causes refers to a legally justified reason beyond wrongful acts and can further be classified as business-related or health-related. Example, installation of labor-saving devices. As an employer, you have the right to introduce equipment that replaces manual labor. And that's all for our video discussion. We hope that you learned the importance of knowing the political law and labor law.